Hi, so I have a question. How many people think that people who are more, um, like in the triad, narcissism, you could even go in the vulnerable triad, which is borderline personality. And if you need me to lay out the triad, I can always lay out the triad. I just have a hard time pronouncing the words. Melchivism and stuff like that. How many people think that people are born that way? I think that's a question that people often ask. Are you born that way? Or do you think it develops over time? My personal opinion is it develops over time. And I'll tell you why. Because, so I have followed a little bit of like Bruce Lipton and Joe Dispenza around epigenetics. Take a second there. Epigenetics. And your environment does shape your belief. You can always change those beliefs. It's just sometimes it takes longer. Some of those beliefs, I believe, get handed down generationally because, one, we repeat the stories, and two, because it is partly our DNA, so it gets turned on again by the stories. So I want you to think about, I had talked a little bit about Brian Kohlberger and rejection. And if you look at him and you look at rejection, what if that was turned on? Now, I'm not saying that everybody who gets rejected is going to get turned on and get like a gene turned on and they're going to go out and kill somebody, unalive someone or whatever you want to say. But what if it has to do with the factors all around that? Do I believe that some people are more predisposed than others? Not exactly. I do believe in the Tao says this: watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your destiny. I believe that's the way it goes. And watch your habits, they become your action. No, watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your destiny. Something like that. I really believe that it's the thoughts with emotions that people end up doing that gets them down those dark paths. But I think a lot of it has to do with an emotion and where people get broken. And then it impacts your brain. I want you to think about it this way. First of all, when we're children, we're more influential. That's when our brains are developing the most. We all know that. So we all know that. Or we should all know that. And I want you to think of it like the beach. When you step on the sand, you indent it with your foot. Or if you're crawling, you'll indent it with your knees, But we indent the sand. Well, that's what it's like when there's a memory there, or there's a pain there, or there's a hurt there. So what happens is when people, I believe a lot of people that go down paths that are notorious, there's something that impacts them so strongly. They go down those paths. Now, what it is, it could be several things. It could be reinforcing those things. There's a lot of things that would reinforce that belief. And when you understand, like I said, I've talked about, I've researched belief. When you understand how belief works and how it gets reinforced and reinforced and reinforced and reinforced and reinforced, then what happens is you understand why people do the things they do. See, the belief of rejection would get reinforced. And then all of a sudden you see more rejection. So then you're going to take it into your own hands. You can look at this through any eyes of any person who is doing crime or any person who's doing any sort of a habit. You look at Lori Daybell. She kept telling herself over and over again, kept telling everyone around her that certain people are zombies. And she kept believing it, repeating the story over and over and over again till it indented so much it became a part of her. Ruby Franke. She's another one. She believed the story and repeated the Bible verse that children should be disciplined to the point where it became so extreme about spare the rod, spoil the child, that her children were horrifically abused. And she saw nothing wrong with it because she was so focused on, I need to punish. This is the only way they'll be righteous following God. And she kept repeating it over and over in her head till it became a habit, until it became a part of her and who she was. This is why people will talk about affirmations in the manifestation world and how to reprogram yourself. There has to be willingness with someone, but I'm going to tell you, if you understand belief, a lot of this has to do with the way that the imagination works, the emotion works with it, and the repetition. And if we really want to look at people like the 3 people I just mentioned on this just a second ago, we'll start looking at how are they believing? What is the emotional tie to that belief? And how does that impact their belonging or their lack of belonging? So on that note, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.